As the war raged on, our unit continued to move through the unforgiving European terrain, facing new challenges and hardships with each passing day. The bonds of brotherhood that had formed between Hank, Marc, and me grew stronger, a source of solace in the midst of chaos. Our journey led us through dense forests, across rivers, and into battle-scarred towns and villages. Each day brought its own set of trials, from enemy ambushes to the harsh realities of life on the front lines. But through it all, we clung to our shared purpose and the unbreakable camaraderie that had become our lifeline. One bitterly cold morning, as we trudged through knee-deep snow in the Ardennes forest, our unit received orders to hold a strategic position against an impending enemy offensive. The forest seemed to close in around us, the snow-covered trees casting long shadows that whispered of danger. Sergeant Reynolds gathered us together, his breath forming frosty clouds in the frigid air. "Men, this won't be an easy fight. The enemy outnumbers us, but we've held tougher ground before. We dig in, we hold our positions, and we watch out for each other. That's how we'll get through this." Our foxholes became our home as we prepared for the enemy's onslaught. The bitter cold gnawed at us, and we huddled together for warmth, sharing stories and trading jokes to keep our spirits high. Hank, always the optimist, had a way of making even the direst situations seem bearable with his humor. Days turned into nights, and the forest became an eerie and silent realm. We knew the enemy was out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. Our senses were on high alert, our fingers poised on triggers, and our hearts beating in anticipation. The enemy's attack came at dawn, a thunderous assault that shattered the stillness of the forest. Artillery fire rained down around us, and we returned fire with everything we had. Bullets whizzed through the air, and explosions rocked the ground beneath us. In the chaos of battle, Hank took a hit. A bullet grazed his arm, and he went down with a cry of pain. Marc and I rushed to his side, providing cover fire as we dragged him to a safer position. Hank gritted his teeth, his eyes reflecting both pain and determination. "I'll be fine, fellas," he muttered, trying to reassure us. "Just a scratch." But Marc and I knew it was more than that. The wound was serious, and we needed to get Hank medical attention as soon as possible. With the enemy closing in, we knew that the path to safety would be perilous. With Hank in tow, we made a desperate dash through the snow-covered forest, dodging enemy fire and navigating through the treacherous terrain. Every step was a struggle, and the weight of our wounded comrade made our progress slow. We finally reached a small clearing where we could see our own lines in the distance. But the enemy was closing in, and it was clear that we wouldn't make it to safety without help. That's when Marc spotted a group of fellow soldiers in the distance. With a wave of his hand, Marc signaled for their assistance. They rushed to our aid, providing covering fire and helping us carry Hank to safety. It was a harrowing journey, filled with uncertainty and danger, but we were united by a common purpose: to get our friend the medical attention he desperately needed. Back at our lines, Hank was treated by the unit's medic, and we waited anxiously for news of his condition. The hours seemed to drag on, and our concern for our wounded friend weighed heavily on our hearts. Finally, the medic emerged from the makeshift field hospital, a weary but reassuring smile on his face. "He's going to be all right," he said. "It was a close call, but he'll pull through." Relief washed over us like a warm wave, and we couldn't help but exchange relieved glances. Hank, despite his injury, had once again shown his resilience and determination to overcome adversity. As the days passed, Hank recovered, and our unit regrouped for the challenges that lay ahead. Our experiences in the Ardennes forest had tested us in ways we couldn't have imagined, but we had emerged from it with our bonds of brotherhood stronger than ever. One evening, as we sat around a campfire, savoring the warmth and the camaraderie that had carried us through the darkest of times, Hank looked at Marc and me with a grin. "You know, fellas, it's the three of us against the world out here. We've faced the worst, and we've come out of it stronger. Together, there's nothing we can't handle." Marc nodded in agreement, and I couldn't help but smile. Hank's words rang true. We were soldiers of the Allied forces, bound by duty, honor, and the unbreakable bonds of brotherhood. As the war continued to rage on, We faced an uncertain future, but we knew that as long as we had each other, we could overcome any challenge that came our way.